Risers of the week, though, mate. Who are you looking at here in the quarterback position?
Rises of the week. I'll start off with. Actually, no. I'll go with Ryan Tannehill. He's pretty much been rising every single week, but another 28 points this week against the Texans. And to be honest, he looks like a genuine top 10, if not top 8 QB going forward in fantasy.
Yeah, I think there's two tier. Well, there's plenty of tiers of the quarterbacks this year. I think there's one tier of the elites. Like I'm talking Lamar, Mahomes, Murray, Rodgers, Wilson, Allen, and I think he's knocking on the door of that pack for me. I think he's the clear standout of the rest of them. But yeah, I love Tanner's in fantasy because he loves a rushing touchdown. He just gets bulk yards per attempt. Tennessee are just motoring at the moment. And you were saying he's just rising every week. He's dead set been rising every week since Mariota got benched last year.
Yeah,
I remember in most leagues he would have spent a few weeks on the waivers just racking up points. Then he slowly started to get added, and now he's a QB1 in pretty much every league. So, definitely a riser for me. I'm quite high on him. I had him as the QB12 going into last week, but yeah, I haven't done my rankings for this week. Starting next week, I'll try and get them done before we record. But yeah, I'll be shocked if he's still the QB12 in 24 hours for me. But yeah, my riser of the week. Well, we have a few risers, but Kyler Murray. I was very high on Kyler coming into this week. He was my QB3, so pretty hard to rise from there. I'm not quite sure who he's risen above, to be honest. But 28.92 against Dallas. They're a soft defense, but he's got Seattle and Miami with a bye splitting those two fixtures. But Seattle and Miami have been very leaky this season, and I can see the Cards putting up a few points against those two teams. But yeah, for me, the main thing with Murray is his running yardage, like Lamar last year. It just makes him a safe option every single week. It doesn't matter who he's playing. He's going to get around 50 rushing yards and likely a rushing TD as well, which is just to have that as pretty much a lock is just makes him such a spicy asset. And like on the week, well, on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was, he threw it 37.5%, only 9 completions, and he still whipped out 28.92. So he's a bit of a fantasy cheat code. But yeah, Kyler Murray, I'm frothing him in fantasy.
He's like Lamar last season.
Yeah, I can't lie. That trade could be occurring. Could make a little Lamar for Kyler. I don't know what to do with Lamar. I got rewarded for failing to trade him. I was attempting to, let me tell you, but he's got such hard fixtures coming up, so I don't really know what to do with him. But
well, mate, my other riser is Lamar Jackson.
yes.
So he was starting to be doubted by a few people, including yourself. But he put the doubters to bed this week, showing that he should be in that top 3 QB range. 28 points. Eagles are a pretty good defense as well. Like they're no slouch. Yeah. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most of it was rushing.
Yeah, most of it. He only had 180 in the air, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. But anyway, still, he's going to do that every week. So I think you should feel pretty good about him, mate, as an owner.
Yeah, I do feel good about him. And I actually think Lamar's an exception to just to logic, really. I think he actually does better. I think he does better the heart of the team because against the easy teams, like against Washington, he just didn't run because he didn't need to. Where against like the Steelers or the Titans, whoever they're playing, the Titans aren't actually that good in defense this year, but against the Steelers or whoever they've got coming up, he'll probably have no options because the coverage is so good, so he'll be forced to run, and then that increases the chance of him going on like a 50-yard run, which is just huge for fantasy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've probably reached the point where I think I've just got to commit to him for the whole season. Like I don't really see a world where he excluding this week, I don't see a world where he stays at that level that he was in the first 5 weeks for the rest of the season. So I think I've just got to stick it fat with him and just cop. He might have a few bad weeks, but ultimately he's going to end up with a pretty high average, and I'll just reap the benefits from that if I keep him. There were actually quite a few rises this week. I think the last few weeks we've struggled with QBs, but I think this week there was quite a bit of movement. For me, Carson Wentz is another riser. Going into this week, I had him as the QB 18. Actually had Andy Dalton above him,
So did I.
which hasn't aged too well. But he got 29.42 against the Ravens, who are the third best passing defense in the league. He threw it 52.5% and had a fumble. So you're thinking he's had an absolute shocker there. And then he's just whipped out 29 points. So he just seems to be doing it this year. He's playing badly. He's got shocking completion rates. He's missing absolute sitter throws, but he's just learned how to be good at fantasy. He's quite mobile actually, and he doesn't
Yeah.
mind a rushing touchdown, which always helps. But yeah, in the next 3 weeks, in the next 3 matches, he's got the Giants twice and the Cowboys, and barring a bad game script where they might just run the ball after they go up against those in those 3 matches, he should score pretty well there. So, and Deshaun Jackson's coming back this week, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah, that'll help.
positive signs for Wentz, and I can't see him really dropping below the QB 18 position that I had him last week for a good month. So, I'd try and get him while you can, but I think Carson Wentz owners will be pretty high on him nowadays. But do you want to move on to the fallers or anyone else you want to mention?
No, that's it. I'll give a quick shout out to my boy Matt Ryan, 31 points, but I'll move on
Yeah.
to the fallers.
Oh wait, by the way, sorry. Where would you rate Tua? Definitely not asking because I just picked him up, but
Yeah,
where do you rate? Where would you rank him? I know he's not playing this week because of the bye, but how high on it are you on him?
it's really hard to say, but if I was gonna compare him to my 3 quarterbacks, I'd probably take him over Cousins, but not Burrow or Matt Ryan, just because there's still a bit of uncertainty.
Yeah, I think if possible, because we have Superflex in our league, to those listening who haven't listened before, I wouldn't mind picking up Baker this week and just playing him for this round, and then
He's got the Bengals as well.
yeah, because Lamar's got his bye, and then I might just have Tua as the backup for the rest of the year, because none of the other guys because for those listening, I just said it before, but Fitzy obviously got benched, so he was one of my quarterbacks. So now I had to pick someone off the waivers. None of the other guys have upside really. We're looking at like Foles, Kyle Allen, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think I might just have Tua on the bench and hope he's a bit of a Herbert. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too high on him though. But I'll cop it as a backup really. But yeah, who was your faller? Sorry.
Cam Newton first up. Before this week, I had him like really high, top 8, I think 7th, and put up I think 17 points this week against the Broncos. Wasn't really getting much going. Broncos are a good defense, but I don't really see him as a top 7 bloke anymore, especially considering how some of the other players like Tannehill and Matt Ryan performed. So he'll probably be sliding down for me.
Yeah, their offense just isn't really working at the moment.
Yeah, he's just going to be relying on rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and like that is a bit of a worry. You don't really want to be just relying on one stat.
Yeah.
In any situation. But I was pretty happy about it. I was versing Cam Newton and went a long way to my victory. But yeah, he was on like 3 at halftime or something, and he ended up getting to a decent score because
Hang
I
on,
think he ran it.
did he score a rushing touchdown? He did,
I
didn't
think
he?
I think he might have.
Yeah, I think.
Because I don't know how he got that score if he didn't,
Yeah.
but he definitely ran a lot in the second half. I know that. I was thinking that when you said that, but I wasn't 100% sure. So
that was the only touchdown of the match, I'm pretty sure, because I know the Broncos kicker went berserk.
McManus, our man.
Brandon.
But yeah, Cam Newton would probably be sliding for me, especially considering I've got blokes like Watson and Tannehill below him. My other fallers, I've got Tom Brady. He probably unpopular one, but he scored 14.64 against the Packers, who were the 12th worst pass defense in the league, and his team scored 38 points. And if your quarterback's team scoring 38, you're probably wanting a little bit more than 14 points. The game script didn't suit him. They basically just gave Ronald Jones the ball the whole game, but It was the first time all his receivers kitted up. He had Miller, Godwin, Evans. I don't know if they were at 100%, but they were all there. And yeah, it just wasn't pretty for Brady owners. Yep, so that's all I've got for Tom Brady. I was quite high on him as well. I think he was my QB8. So he'll definitely be coming down from those high heights there. Anyone else you want to mention?
Yeah, Andy Dalton. I think this controversial one, but I think considering he's replacing Dak Prescott in that system, a lot of people would have been pretty ambitious as to what Dalton would have put up. And he was unlucky. Gallup dropped a soda of a touchdown, and I think one of his picks should have been a defensive pass interference, but he looked nowhere near as good as Dak. And I can't really see him putting up those numbers.
Yeah, that pick he almost threw where there was just no one with it. There was no one with the defender. It was genuinely Jameis kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think he'll be fine, but I think it's probably you owned him until about an hour ago and you traded him off. I think that's a good decision. I don't think they have tough fixtures. I think it's pretty light on, but I think it will take a few weeks to get going. So I think he could be a target in like a month. But realistically, he's probably not in the top 20 quarterbacks, is he? So I don't think he's really that relevant to fantasy apart from being a backup. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on with over there. My other guy is Matthew Stafford. I was very high on Stafford. Tried to trade for him a few weeks ago because he had a soft run of fixtures, and then he's put up a 12.32 against the Jags. A lot of this comes down to game script because they did go up and then they basically just fed DeAndre Swift and Peterson. I think they had just those two combined had 30 carries or something. But yeah, similar to the Brady thing, in a 34-16 big win, you'd be wanting a little bit more than 12.32. All his receivers are fit and healthy. He does have good fixtures still to come, but this is probably put a bit of a bit of worry in my mind about him. And he was in a similar bracket to Brady and Newton with me, and all three of them are probably going to slide down a little bit this week. So yeah, sorry Stafford, we love you on the ball potty, but not a good week from you, my friend. Yeah, anyone else you want to mention? Fitzy, probably the biggest faller.
Yeah,
getting absolutely dogged.
Definitely Fitzy.
Yeah, I'm fuming about that one, to be honest. All right, moving on.
It's a miracle! Oh yeah! What about that one? No! Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.